Like I mentioned earlier, end of this year, 700 outlets, but we've also got a different vertical that actually focuses on FMCG. Yeah, so we think that there is actually different segment of customers that we can actually target. Last year, we ventured into Philippines. As of today, we've got about 13, 14 stores. And then this year itself in Malaysia, besides adding more stores, we are also growing our FMCG side of things. We have a lot of talents within the company with about 4,000 over employees that we've hired over, currently. So over a span of 5 years, something that we're very, very proud of. But one thing is that
Hello listeners, welcome to the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon podcast. We talk to business leaders in Asia. And today we are actually at the entrepreneurship conference and we have Venon Tian with us. And he was just at a panel and fresh from the panel, just come down stage and he's here is with us as well. So we're also very happy to be part of entrepreneurship conference. There are a lot of entrepreneurs out there. So today we're going to talk about entrepreneurship perhaps. So actually in a few of our episodes, we had the Zus Coffee in front of us because the easiest one to tapao, the most best to use, easiest to use at Elton here, has drank so many times. Every time we shoot a podcast, we just put in front anyway because the easiest and fastest one to get. So Venon, welcome to the show.
Thanks Bob for having me and also supporting us in buying Zus. So yeah, very happy to be able to share. So please ask away if you've got any questions and whatever that we can share with our listeners.
Yes, thank you so much. So we talk to business leaders in Asia, and of course, I think you are the coffee brand born out of Malaysia. And I was just hearing you talking to people, you're looking to expand to maybe Japan, and you're already in the Philippines, like that. So are you planning to be an Asia brand?
Yeah, I think the aspiration is, of course, if you ask me again last year or 2 years back, what do we want to be? We want to be the biggest in Malaysia, right? Then as of today, we are actually already the largest chain in Malaysia.
Beating the S brand, as you said just now?
No, I didn't mention any brand earlier, but yeah, we're already largest, right? Then the question that we constantly ask ourselves is like, what's next? Yeah, so last year we ventured into Philippines. As of today, we've got about 13, 14 stores. Yeah. And then this year itself in Malaysia, besides adding more stores, we are also growing our FMCG side of things, which is our canned coffee, our instant coffee range as well. And yeah, so these are things that we're doing in Malaysia and Philippines. But out of Malaysia, then again, where can we go, right? I think earlier on I was also saying that it drives us a lot whenever we hear or whenever we see that there is a nice spot for us to open a store. Yeah, I was talking about having a store right in front of the Dubai Mall entrance, just so that when you exit from it, you can see Burj Khalifa, right? I think that's what drives us. And yeah, so we are actually looking into a few countries to go into where we don't have really concrete answers yet, but we're definitely going to Brunei. We've got a really, really good partner in Brunei. We're going to Singapore as well.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to Singapore. And yeah, these are the ones that it's firm. And the rest of them, we're still looking into it and discussing some final stages before we move into it.
So when you enter all these markets, of course, there will already be existing coffee brands are already there. So how do you penetrate a new market per se?
Yeah, I think coffee is not a winner takes all kind of market, right? Yeah, everyone have different preferences when it comes to taste. Yeah, but of course it will be our job to make sure that we'll be able to localize whatever that we have to make it much more suitable to the local taste buds. Yeah, and I think what we have versus the other F&B players or other coffee retailers is that I think our products are actually quite fun. Yeah, so what we really want to do is to be able to bring these fun flavors out from Malaysia and then showcase to the world that, hey, it's not so much of just we are famous for our char kway teow and also our asam laksa and all, right, or even nasi lemak, but we can also make good coffee. And a lot of times the perception on coffee is that it's very bitter, it's not good, but for us itself, it's that how do we make coffee much more accessible, not from just location, not just price, but also taste as well.
Yeah, I have to commend you for that because one of the things that we found we like is the CO coconut latte. Normally we have the CO latte. Elton has a lot of CO latte, but so like you have innovative products like CO coconut latte, like say localized as well. How do you stay on top of the taste buds? Like, do you do surveys or things like that?
Yeah. So I think it depends, right? So I still remember back in days is very much just looking out and see what's available in the market and then bringing it into Malaysia. Yeah. Whatever that we like, then we try to roll out as well in our own menu. But over the years, I think earlier on you heard as well, we are very much like a data company or very much like an e-commerce company, right? Because about 50% of our transaction actually comes from our own app. So we actually have a lot of personalized data that we can get hold on and see what our customer actually like. So we do have some flavors and some SKUs are actually through the data that we've gotten and tell us that, hey, this is actually the flavor that you like. Say, for instance, a lot of our customers actually consume caramel. A lot of customers consume this kind of flavor. And our product team will then R&D based on along those lines.
So you have a lot of data coming through the app. You have a lot of analytics. Like one thing I have to commend you guys is the app. So like in my home screen, right, I have WhatsApp, I have Instagram, and then I have your app.
Thank you.
So it is, I would say I highly commend. A lot of people try to do apps. I commend the UX. It's so easy to order already, then you know what's going to happen. Like, is your company very tech focused and also very product focused as well, right?
Yeah. So for us itself, like I mentioned earlier, we are very much an e-commerce company, right? We have our own UI UX team. We have our own tech team. We focus a lot in terms of, ultimately having an app is not so much of just having an app to order, right? It's also the entire experience that you have via the app itself. How fast can you scroll? How easy is it gonna use? And we put in experiences such as, for instance, you go, I'm quite sure you've heard of Amazon having a one-click reordering kind of stuff, right? Say your laundry detergent, they'll give you a button and then you just press and then you can reorder. We do things like that because we want to make ordering coffee easy. Yeah. And then we look into how do you constantly come back to spend on our app. Yeah. And so what I'm trying to say here is that a lot of things that we do is really on acquisition of customer to retaining our customers and then gamifying a lot more things just so that people stay. And the keyword here is stickiness of the app, right? Which is very, very important for our business itself. And I think a lot of times most businesses fail to look into the retention of their users through the app. And maybe that's why people are reluctant to use app for their businesses. But for our case itself, I think it's also we are also lucky in that sense where coffee is a daily kind of thing, right? Our tagline is necessity, not luxury, which means we want people to constantly consume our coffee at an affordable price. And it's not just a luxury where you can consume over weekends and whatnot. So it becomes a habit. Yeah. For instance, you mentioned your WhatsApp, your Instagram. It's something that you constantly open up, reply your messages. Instagram is something that you scroll, get your latest updates and whatnot, check out your friends. And Zus is where you go to get your daily need. Yeah. And that's what we are doing.
Yeah, even when I go back to my hometown, which is Taiping, you got 3 outlets there. And even like places like Bagan Serai, like places like, is there like you grow very fast, right? So is there like a growth strategy that you want to hit a certain number of outlets?
For this year itself, we want to hit 700 outlets. Yeah.
Right
so
now?
As of today, I think we've got 446 stores.
Okay.
We ended last year with 360, so pretty much doubling up the number of stores that we have. I think the beauty of our business is that we are lower in capex, so it's easier for us to go into smaller towns and be able to, again, one of our key pillars within the company is really accessibility, right? Then making Zus available to our customers in all these locations is very much accessibility as well. Yeah. So 700 by end of the year. There'll be more to come over the years. Of course, we have to evaluate every store performance. What can we do over the next couple of years? But let's get this year done, and then we'll be able to see what our data shows.
Hey everyone, this is the producer Elton, and we interview business leaders in Asia. And if this video brought you any value, click on the subscribe button, like the video, and share it with your friends.
Yeah, I would commend the typing outlets are very good.
Thank you.
And like how do you make sure you keep out the consistency? Because like as you are expanding very fast, you are hiring people, like to train and a lot of things like this.
Yeah, so a lot of times it's really about automation, right? I mean, we have a lot of talents within the company with about 4,000 over employees that we've hired over, currently, so over a span of 5 years, something that we're very, very proud of. But one thing is that humans have different, on a day-to-day basis, maybe our productivity rate is also very, very different. But what the company is striving to do is very much looking into how do we automate all the processes that we've actually built from making coffee. I still remember back in the days we were using very conventional coffee machines where you have to learn how to calibrate, you have to learn how to temp, then you have to pull shots, and then there's just so many variables, right? But how do I make our barista's life easier, which is to cut down as many variables as we can and really focus on what makes good quality coffee. Cutting down on these variables, automate as much in terms of processes, and I think that will be a way for us to scale.
Yep, and it's great. So far, all the selections are very good as well. And because you're the first one, when I mentioned to you, you're the first one who bring in alternative milk. I remember you still have a collaboration with Oatly.
Yep.
You're the first major chain that really promotes this as well. So like as you grow, you also have to deal with all these supply chain things, like supply with milk, coffee, and things like that. And our ringgit is not exactly the best. So like, how do you manage these supply chains?
I think again, because we are in the growth phase, right? So a lot of times we can really leverage on the scale, on the volume that we're going to consume and whatnot. So it's constantly about the story and forecast that we provide to our vendors and saying that, hey, I'm actually going to take up X amount of the capacity and it's additional margin for you guys. Maybe you may make lesser from me because you are going through margin compressions, but for us itself, we're constantly giving you more and more business and you're still going to make good money, right? These are things that we've been doing just so that we can maintain prices on supply chain. But we do a lot of forecasting, demand planning in advance, just so that we get the best prices over the months and also the years to come.
Yeah, that's very important because a lot of things you do require. So once you hit that target of outlets, what's next? I know you're expanding globally, but what's next when you hit that target?
Yeah, I think like I mentioned earlier, end of this year, 700 outlets. But we've also got a different vertical that actually focuses on FMCG. So we think that there is actually different segment of customers that we can actually target, which this is more of out of very much like your out of your fresh brew kind of customers, right? And we all know that for the longest time, everyone has been buying coffee outside. At the same time, also have instant coffee at home as well. So these are things that we're looking into. And of course, a lot of people also buy ready to drink canned coffee, beverages and whatnot, which is one of the directions that we're looking into. And we'll be putting in a lot of energy and focus to grow that particular vertical and potentially bringing that vertical into all the other countries that we operate as well.
You have the app, right? Which is sort of like an e-commerce platform already. Do you plan to push other things besides coffee in there?
Not really for time being. I mean, we are still very much within our own circle. Or the nicer word to say is our own ecosystem, right? But no. Yeah, because I think people come to us because they want coffee. And we want to maintain it that way.
Okay. Yep. So last question, because we are at the entrepreneurship conference, you have 8 co-founders, right? And of course, started with, I think, both of you, Ian and you yourself.
It's actually Ian and someone else, but so we actually call ourselves like the Avengers of coffee, right? And we actually have very, very fortunate again to have a Nick Fury who actually gathered all of these people together to run the business. And everyone actually, again, very, very fortunate because everyone brings different value to the table. Everyone have their own expertise. One of our co-founders is actually our head barista. Another co-founder actually helped us to establish all our finances to make sure that everything is in order. So we're very, very fortunate in that sense that we were able to gather everyone to start and build this business. But over 5 years now, we are very much, or 4.5 years now, we are very much corporatized the business, and we have a lot of talents within the company that is managing a lot of different portfolios and also business units.
So the 8 the original Avengers, now you're having more in the universe.
You're right. So it could be Thor now working with Ant-Man and but yeah, I mean that's how we are able to build a more sustainable growing business. And I think talent is the most important thing for us. Without talent, we won't be able to see things in a different perspective and also help us to scale. So that's more important. So hence making the decision to corporatize the business, to have proper career growth for everyone. And it's no longer just about the founders anymore. In fact, more than happy if, let's say, someone is more capable than myself to take over my job, more than happy to take a step back and someone else to run it. And that's the whole energy and mindset that we have within the company, that it's not about us anymore. Similarly, I mean, in Avengers, it's no longer about Iron Man anymore, right? It's really about that snap that took Thanos away. And
So as the COO, are you the Captain America?
I hope so. That's my favorite character. But I'm not the best guy, right? You still have other heroes who are so good out there. But I think it's not so much of what I can do, but what we can do together.
Yeah, I did some digging as well. So I found that you are in Help University.
Yeah.
And last time, I think in Help University, they wrote that you were in e-commerce businesses before you joined Zus. Like, what do you learn from that phase of your life?
Yeah, actually, that's a very long story, but I still remember that was right after SPM. Family actually went into some financial difficulties, and I had to fund myself through to uni, right? And that was the time I was involved in terms of e-commerce, e-commerce trading, so very much buying and selling online and stuff. But what I realized is that I don't really have that corporate experience. So after I graduated from the UK, worked there for a bit, came back to Malaysia, I was actually in a corporate or an MNC working in an e-commerce department. So that actually gave me a lot of knowledge in terms of how to properly run a business and how to really turn a business into a corporate structure. So that's very much how I gain, e-commerce itself, it's very vast, right? It's from buying to setting your price to selling, making a profit, customer servicing, logistics, making sure that you can deliver to your customers, following up on feedbacks, improving on your products, growing from there. So I think as much as during that time it was small and was able to do whatever wonders for me during that time, but I've learned a lot from there. And of course now at a bigger scale, different kind of format.
Yeah, I'm impressed. So we always drink your coffee.
Thanks.
And hopefully one day we'll see you in the Dubai, in front of the Dubai Mall and from the Burj Khalifa as well. Thank you so much, Venon, for coming on and share. Just want to shout out BEAMSTART as well for putting us together. So BEAMSTART is a global entrepreneurship community. There's a lot of people outside pitching or gathering. So after this as well. So they are actually a platform, so you can get deals, you can join the community and events as well. So we'll put in the website as well. So thank you so much, BEAMSTART. Thank you again, Venon. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you so much.